Well, here we go into another philosophy topic. The mind-body problem was a doozy, wasn't it? This one is a bit easier. We believe in freedom in America. We human beings like to be what we call free. But what is freedom? And do we really have it? Can we really have it? Philosophers call the bigger topic of freedom free will. Do you and I have the power of self-determination? Is anything that we decide or do truly a free choice? Or is everything we think and do determined by who we are and what our experiences have been? I'm teaching a course along with my spouse to a church group this fall, and it's about racism. One of the problems that white people have, if and when they want to get over or get beyond their racism, is to look back at ourselves. White people tend to look at others as problems that have to be solved, sometimes as problems they want to help solve. And that's probably the wrong attitude. What has to be solved is white racism. To do that, white people have to look at themselves. So my question is, are we really free? When 400 years of pre-programming of attitudes toward other cultures and ethnicities, thousands of years of believing that races actually exist, which they do not, have molded us into the prejudiced people that we are. My questions to those nice, mostly white church people will be, how do you fix yourself? Not so much how do you help or fix others. Now, I tell you this story not so much because I want to get into a study of racism, although that might be a good thing, but because it illustrates the problem presented in this chapter. Are we free? Do we have free will? Or are we destined to live out our pre-programmed lives based on our DNA and sum total of experiences? Or is it somewhere in between? This chapter will present several possible solutions to the free will and determinism problem. Determinism, indeterminism, compatibilism, libertarianism, not political, and existentialism. Determinism says that all events, all choices and actions are determined by preceding events, choices and actions in a chain of determination that goes back in time indefinitely. If I could know everything about you, who you are genetically, family history, every moment of your life so far, I could tell you what you will think and do next. Everything that happens must happen. This probably doesn't sound very attractive to you, but most scientists speculate that it may well be true. But we live our lives believing and acting as if we are free, as if we have free will. Non-thinking matter certainly operates in a deterministic way. Gravity affects everything, fire burns things up, storms can produce lightning under the right conditions, but what about thinking things like us? We certainly are programmed by our DNA and our history, but is there any room left after that for truly free choices? What would a free choice look like? As you read 5.1, take a look at the book and movie titles mentioned. Have you ever read or seen any of them? They might be good reading and viewing for you. And think about all the ways we humans assume that people have free will and build institutions around this. We assume that you must take responsibility for your actions. We prosecute you if you break laws. We punish you if you're convicted. But if we are actually totally determined, then we were destined to do what we do. How can a person be held responsible and punished for that? In Module 1, I had you watch a clip from Inherit the Wind and from the History Channel on the Scopes trial. The argument used in the trial was the determinist argument, that people are destined to do what they do and cannot be held responsible for that. Philosophers call this hard determinism, that there is no free will at all. I'll go over the actual argument in the PowerPoint presentation. Determinism has to assume that incompatibilism is also true, that we cannot be determined and have free will at the same time. In an earlier presentation, I mentioned some thoughts about quantum physics where at the subatomic level, and maybe at other levels too, things might not be as determined as we once thought. Some things don't seem to be caused at all in modern physics. Another approach to the problem of free will is called compatibilism or soft determinism. This one says that it is possible to be determined and free at the same time. The compatibilist will say that as long as your own choice is not constrained by anything, it can be free. As long as it is an eternal internal decision rather than affected by something outside you, it can be free. Of course, we will see that other philosophers say that compatibilism can't be true. Libertarianism, not the political philosophy by the same name, says that some actions are free because they are caused by the person. Not all events are determined. Many are, but not all. Again, we'll outline this in detail in the PowerPoint. And again, some say this makes no sense either. We will also look at my favorite, existentialism, the philosophy of Jean-Paul Sartre. Existentialists kind of ignore all the wrangling about deterministic laws, true or false. They simply look at human experience, human psychology, the phenomenon of our lives in action. And because of this, the existentialist believes that we are totally and completely responsible for our actions, whether or not they are determined. In the context of life, you and I are the ones who think and act, and that is totally on us. We will see that this is the source of human anxiety and fear. Existentialism tries to tell us how to deal with all of this creatively. So then, let us launch into Chapter 5.